This one is comical, if not disturbing, with President Trump and his phone call to the Philippine President Duterte. There's a transcript that was recovered by the Washington Post and reported on by The Intercept as well, that shows the conversation that President Trump had with Duterte was far more disturbing than people originally thought. Originally, everyone was concerned, rightfully so, about the fact that in this conversation, Donald Trump said this to a president who has overseen the death of almost 9,000 people. This is what Donald Trump said to him. He said, "I just want to congratulate you because I am hearing of the unbelievable job on the drug problem. What a great job you are doing." This great job includes the murder. The phrase that the Washington Post uses, the extrajudicial killing of 9,000 people, including children. Duterte has redefined the war on drugs. It's not a war on drugs like in the American sense, where we're just going to collect an entire generation of young men and young women and put them in prison to fund the prison industrial complex. As bad as and damaging as that has been, Duterte is waging a murderous war on his nation. 9,000 people. And our president, in one breath, I want to say our president is so feckless that he doesn't understand that. But then how simple is it to understand that he's literally advocating for people to be killed? He has videos. Duterte, the man behind me, has videos where he's saying, if you see a drug dealer, kill them. And he has another video where he says, if I think you need to be killed, you'll be killed. Like, this is not rocket science. This is not a complex international relations concept that President Trump would have to sit down and get briefings from all of his policy advisors in order to get one sentence right. This is plain and simple. Duterte is a murderous thug. And the president of the United States, on a phone call to him, in regards to the exact issue for which this bitch is a murderous thug, our president said, "You're doing a good job." This goes beyond being feckless. This gets into a nefarious realm. President Trump really thinks, you know what? Why not? Why explain it so well? President Trump is endorsing the murder of 9,000 people in the Philippines, because this is exactly what he's done. How about that? Let's flip the headline on this, right? Instead of trying to explain it in a very sensible fashion, let's just say what Fox News would have said about Obama if he had said the same thing. President Trump has endorsed the murder of 9,000 people by an autocratic dictator. Okay, maybe that's not the technical term for, but by a strong man, an oppressive strong man who has no problem executing his own civilians. This is okay to the president of the United States. It is not a complicated issue for which he can be mistaken or confused. It is a very clear-cut issue, and the president of the United States has decided to give accolades and affirmation to the murderous campaign of this man behind me. In addition to that, he not only congratulated him on killing 9,000 people, the president of the United States released confidential information concerning 2 of our nuclear subs. He said Trump, and according to this report from the Washington Post, Trump said that a major conflict with North Korea is possible because of its nuclear and missile programs, and that all options are on the table. He went on to tell the president, Rodrigo Duterte, that Washington had a lot of firepower over there. He mentions the 2 nuclear subs that we have in the region. This is not something that anyone discusses. Not the quantity nor the type of subs that we have in the oceans abroad, because this clearly, right? It's plain and simple. You do not tell where it completely undermines the nuclear deterrent. It completely undermines our ability to have a standoff, not a confrontation, but this stalemate, this consistent stalemate that we've had on nuclear weapons since the Cold War, during the Cold War, throughout the Cold War, and now we have a balance of terror. We have an agreement of mutually assured destruction, and letting people know where our nuclear weapons are undermines that. So not only is he congratulating and co-signing the murder of 9,000 people in the Philippines by a murderous thug, he's also telling him where our nuclear weapons are. And I know it's, according to President Nixon, it's not illegal when the president does it. But at some point, we have to stop giving Donald Trump, on Twitter, I'm sorry, I just had a thought that ran through my head and I got to give it to you. I've been having a conversation that Mike Pence would be worse because Mike Pence is going to do a lot to hurt a lot of people, a lot of marginalized communities. And I really do believe that. People's response and pushback on me is like, yeah, but Donald Trump could literally start a nuclear war. And I'm like, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is the possibility of him starting a nuclear war? If it was President Obama, maybe it would be a 1. If it's Donald Trump, maybe it'd be a 2 or 3. And I know for people that'd be like, oh, 2 or 3 is just terrible. We don't want that increase in the possibility. I get that. But as stupid as this president is, as ignorant and feckless and careless as this president is, I have to reassess my assessment and think that it is quite possible now, because we have someone who is so ignorant to the realities of the world, that nuclear war is actually possible with Donald Trump. Anyway.